I have been self-employed for a year. May 2022, I left my day job to become a full-time content creator, influencer, blogger, whatever you want to call it. And it's been quite the ride. Obviously on this channel, I share a lot of tips for aspiring content creators who are hoping to monetize their online presence and maybe leave their 9-to-5 as well. But I thought it'd be interesting to mark this 1-year anniversary by sharing some of the things that I do actually maybe kind of miss about my day job. First, I will say that I have zero regrets about pursuing content creating full-time. It's definitely been a bit of a roller coaster, but I will say that I got used to the fact that I worked for myself pretty quickly. Not necessarily to say that the transition was easy. I definitely struggled, which I do share in this video here, but I more so got used to the freedom, the flexibility that comes with working for yourself. And so while I definitely know that this was the right choice for me, there are still some things that I miss about my old life. First, I miss being around people, and that's coming from an introvert. I was at my last job for nearly 6 years, I think, and it was mostly the same people throughout all that time. And there was just that comfort of showing up every day to people that you saw more than you saw your own family, and to a certain extent, knew you better than your own family. I know not everybody lucks out with that kind of work environment, but I definitely did. I enjoyed coming to work and seeing my team. I enjoyed the conversations that we had. Maybe we were trauma bonded, but I don't know. And as an adult, I'm realizing just how difficult it is to maintain relationships when you aren't in that close proximity day in and day out. I am really grateful that for the past 5 months or so, Darren has actually been working from home with me for our business. And so it's no longer just me alone talking to the cats. But when I first left my day job, it was quite isolating. I will say now that I'm getting more in the groove of working for myself, I do try to attend a lot of creator events and do co-working sessions with my friends in this space, but it's not quite the same, and I don't think it ever will be. Unless maybe I can grow large enough to hire like a team and then rent a little office space and make it all cute and have like an editor that you see every day, and yeah, maybe one day. The second thing I miss is the routine. When you're in it, it can definitely feel like drudgery, waking up every day at the same time, to go to work at the same time, take your lunch break around the same time, you leave at the same time. But there's something to be said about being on autopilot and not having to think so hard about your schedule. Though I was running on like overdrive trying to balance my full-time job with content creating, I had really specific segments of time for each task. I had my day job during the day, and then when I got home, I had a finite amount of time to be able to film, edit, work on blog posts, submit brand content, and I worked really well in those constraints. I've tried to create some form of routine for myself, but without like an outside constraint forcing that routine, there's not a massive incentive to stick to it. And I can actually get really overwhelmed with the abundance of choice for what I could be doing next, which kind of then makes me freeze and not do anything. It's like choice paralysis. The third thing I miss is probably no surprise to anybody, and that is the consistent pay. I knew what my paychecks were gonna be down to the penny and when they were gonna arrive. Twice a month. And it made it so easy to plan and budget days, weeks, months, years in advance. If I had a really big expense in 1 month, I would know how many paychecks down the line it would take to pay it off. There's not much of that in this world. When I sign a contract with a brand, I do have a rough idea of when I will get that money, but not only does the payment terms differ from brand to brand, with there being net 15, net 30, net 60, net 90 even, but brands are also notorious for not paying on time, even within those net terms. Don't get me started. I will say the saving grace to this is that I have landed a lot of long-term partnerships, and this usually means that I am working with a brand for the course of the year, and we have several rounds of content, and they will pay me after each round. And once you kind of work with a brand for a while, you can really start to get an idea of when your payment's gonna come through, and it makes it a little bit easier to plan, but it's still different from having like a salaried full-time position somewhere. Definitely along the same line, I miss my benefits. results. It's not like that dramatic. I am very lucky, like knock on wood, that Darren and I are healthy. We live in Canada, so we don't have like a lot of medical expenses. But my old job did cover, I think like 80% dental and like 90% for prescriptions. But the absolute highlight of my benefits was that we had massage and physio covered for both of us. And I'm prone to migraines that usually are a result of tension in my shoulders. And so we were going to massage therapists like once a month, maybe twice a month. We would just max out the amount that they gave us. That is something that I miss. We have found a little bit of a solve, which is if you find like student RMTs or apparently like student dentists or student whatever that need to put in the hours, you can get these services at an incredible discount. We did that actually a couple of months ago for a massage and it was pretty good, but it's definitely not the same as seeing like a dedicated massage therapist or physio that knows your body. But alas. And number 5, clearer work-life balance. So I had a job with a decent amount of responsibility. I had a work phone. I was technically on call 24/7. I was a facilities coordinator at a research institute. So if there were floods, if there was like a potential chemical spill or leak, if there were floods, like that was probably the most common, then I would be called to go in and check it out and help coordinate a solution. And the thing is, even though I was technically always on call, I still had work-life balance. I didn't live, breathe, eat, sleep my job. And obviously that's not the case when you're self-employed. There is that very cliche but oh so true saying that I quit my 9-to-5 so I could work 24/7. There is absolutely no delineation between my work life and my personal life. If I go on a vacation, it feels like a missed opportunity to create content and work. If I ever want to take a nap, it feels like I am sleeping on my business. There's just no separation, so there is no balance. Another interesting side to this is that there are no boundaries with brands. Brands email you on weekends and expect a response. Brands will send you feedback on content you submitted to them at 6 p.m. on a Thursday and want it first thing Friday morning. They'll give you the green light on your concept late on a Friday night and want it first thing on Monday. And if you have any questions during the weekend, that's their day off. So they're not gonna answer you. Something I kind of want to test out, but I'm a little nervous too, is setting kind of clearer boundaries with the brands that I work with by saying, hey, these are my business hours. These are the times that you can reach me, but I will not be available to do work evenings and weekends. But I don't know if I have the confidence for that yet. It's been a year full of so many new opportunities, so many new friendships, and I'm just ever so grateful. And here's to another year, 2, 5, or more. Until next time.